I used to be in camp with Charles Barkley, the former NBA star, who has long maintained that professional athletes should not be role models. Now, again, I agreed with that for a long time. Now, I disagree. And let me see if I can explain why. If you look at me right now, I'm 58 years old, and if you ask me who my role models are in my life, I would say my parents. But again, the problem is I'm 58 years old. At this age of my life, at this stage of my life, I look at my parents as two people who gave us a house, who gave us shelter, who gave us 3 meals a day, guidance, discipline, and so forth. It was a great family life. The problem is, I didn't know that when I was a kid. When I was 10, 11, 12 years old, my parents were my parents. They weren't that special. They were just two grown-up people living in my house. When it came to role models, I did what all kids do. I looked at the Boston Red Sox. I looked at the Boston Bruins. So my role models were in the Boston Celtics. So my role models back then were JoJo White. I was a big JoJo White fan. Johnny McKenzie. I was a huge Johnny McKenzie fan. Bobby Orr, of course. And when you go to the Red Sox, it was Carl Yastrzemski and the great Tony Conigliaro. I didn't know much about these people. I just knew that they were famous, they were athletes, they were on television, they were cool, so I had posters in my bedroom representing these great athletes. Now, were they really good people? I guess most of them were. Some of them weren't. I don't know. That's the problem. Now, take this to what's happening today in the National Football League. And again, I know I'm sounding all pious and all that. I hate sounding pious, but bear with me. The fact of the matter is that kids everywhere in the United States are going to look at professional athletes as role models. They may not even know what the term role model means, but they're still going to look at these guys. They're going to go to their Facebook pages, their Twitter feeds. They're going to get the posters, buy the As Told To books, and on and on and on. At the end of the day, then, I now disagree with Charles Barkley. Given the enormous power that professional athletes have with kids in the United States, yes, they need to be role models. And I don't give a darn if they don't like it. They need to send out some kind of positive message to kids that they may not be listening from their parents. Again, that's all pious and trite and so forth, but I think it's the appropriate message this week. This is Steve Buckley for Herald Press Box in Copley Square with Herald videographer Bob Grant.